This poem is called Dictionary. Over 200 years ago you held the dictionary, and in the chilly room, heated by large fire kept going by the servant, you sought a word for your letter, you, full of hurt, inconsolable, sat at the writing table, with a pen, or was it a quill, in waiting. My history defeats me, and you cupped your chin in the other hand, as a tear ran down your powdered face, and the word flagitious came to mind, dancing with the wicked, evil, and vile, synonyms with masks, as each one had him pilloried for the injuries exacted upon your esteemed and noble person. You'd visit him in the public square, and aim flasks of wine and all sundry, bruising and smarting him. Then you would turn and cut him for ever from polite society. Such you would do with one word. Imagine if the dictionary were to proffer even more variety. This poem is about continental philosophy, and the line comes from a Cary Grant movie, Holiday. No, it's not Holiday, it's another one. You're out of your continental mind, and it's actually from the Awful Truth movie. You're out of your continental mind when you subtract mathematics from the conclusion and leave behind Cartesian sobriety, going for the rhetorical fireworks instead. The result, like a concussion, the listener dizzy with metaphysical hyperbole, solution, and drunk, yes, drunk with neologisms, ready to vomit a heterocosm, and yet, despite the BS and the fairy tales, sometimes I read something that gets me to think. Oh, yes, you're out of your continental mind. But a tract of prose, a couple of lines, like hermetic poetry, has me wandering and wandering in a new territory in the imagination, from which springs an innovation, a newborn thought, which is clear as light. This poem is called Paul Zech, Z-E-C-H. I got to the stage in translation where the grass and glass in a factory had seemed contrapuntal, and my mind drifted to this afternoon as I heard a Hugo Wolf number tilting at the confines of the music library room, like a starling in Sterne's Sentimental Journey, and in the movie of Jane Austen's Mansfield Park, a collision of music and film like particles shot through Central European mountains. Then I felt the warranty of the poem, an acoustic obligation to work in the sky, a canteen urinals, a cabaret of zoo animals, something to jazz it up, cloudy like the piss of the middle class. Then I got to Buenos Aires, and I thought a requiem in plaster of Paris would not go amiss. Then I came back to the lifted words, the grass and glass, and I stood in a Bauhaus factory, and it was snowing heavily, snowing very heavily. This is a poem dedicated to Else Lasker Schuller. There's all blood, bloody hell over the hills and mountain range, the shadow of death's kiss, a shower of fateful language, is all blood, bloody hell, else let's wake up in a situation comedy in which you play a poet in the 21st century. Her love was like a Necker cube in design. On one particularly sunny and bright afternoon, after watching a YouTube together in the park, there was a nagging feeling which did lurk and hang about in frontal lobe that she did not really love him, but actually she hated him. Was it her annoying need to add commentary whenever the scene got more like a documentary, when the narrator told you more than needed? Was it this habit of hers which irritated him and seeded all these little doubts that in synaptic symphony for the possibility of a future? Well, we'll have to do that again. Her love was like a Necker cube in design. On one particularly sunny and bright afternoon, after watching a YouTube together in the park, there was a nagging feeling which did lurk and hang about in frontal lobe that she did not really love him, but actually she hated him. Was it her annoying need to add commentary whenever the scene got more than like a documentary, when the narrator told you more than needed? Was it this habit of hers which irritated him and seeded all these little doubts that in synaptic symphony broadcast it's over finally, and he lost sympathy for the possibility of a future? But then she kissed him as the sun cast them into shadows, and sure enough, everything was seen from a new perspective. As the iPad 33 was set aside, they did the dirty.